The limit that we're learning now in the night called Hilchas Nida is probably the most well-known and well-practiced part of it is the Harchokos. It's Nageya a lot of the time, and it's very well-practiced. In tonight's shir, we're not going to concentrate on the halachas of Harchokos that we learned. We'll hear about it next week. I would like to focus more on the geder of Harchokos. Is it the Iraisa? Is it the Rabbanon? More as an overview. There are 36 chayve krisis, the first mission in Masechtas Krisis. Many of them are Isuri Arayos. Many of the chayve krisis in the Mishnah are Isuri Arayos. From the Isuri Arayos, one of them is the Isser Nida. The Isser Nida is the Isser not only a person's wife that's a Nida, but it's also any lady, any Isha, a woman that's a Nida. If she's a Nida, there's an Isser like any other Erva. Just like the other Isuri Arayos, is an Isser Erva of a Nida as well. Now, the Chiddush is, even Be'ishta, even a person's own wife that a person's married to, all other Isuri Arayos, the Isser is a person's not allowed to marry Isser Arayos. A person's not allowed to marry his sister. By a Nida, even if it's a person's wife that's a Nida, which he's married to, still there's an Isser Nida. But that's very clear that the Isser is the Isser not only Be'ishta, it's the Isser on any woman that's a Nida, is the Isser Chayve Krisis. Brought single as well, as brought in Kuf Pei Gimel, Simon Kuf Pei Gimel, the beginning which we started learning. The Ein Chilik Bein Pnuya, like you asked, single, the Nesua, then you Nisser Nida. Now obviously if it's Nesua, if she's married, so then there's also an Isser Eishes Ish, unless it's his own wife, but he's a Isser Chayve Krisis. The Rivosh actually has a whole tshuva about it. The Rivosh is bothered, why is it always discussed Be'ishtay Nida? Be'ishtay Nida, what does it have to do Be'ishtay? It's not only Be'ishtay. So he speaks about B'hoive, Diber, B'hoive, because the normal where it's relevant is because if it's his wife. If it's not his wife, so it's anyways Aser. That's really a discussion. It's not for now, but what you brought about a Pnuya, it's discussed in the Rivosh about a Pnuya not going to the mikvah. Because if somebody poni al bala Pnuya is maybe even Issa deraisa, but it's not a chayve krisis. So a person will refrain from being poni al bala Pnuya because the Maisa, if she's single, but the Maisa she's a Nida, so therefore not to go. That's a discussion. It's even a discussion about Erev Yom Kippur, the ones that are noyig that the Shulchan Aruch brings, and the Mishnah Berurah says afil b'churis, even single girls. So the poskim say that it's pashas alpidus rivash not to do it. A lot of poskim speak about it because the Maisa, if she's toivel and she's not a Nida, so then that's not going to be as much moineya for poni bala pnuya. The Isser Baal Anida, that's Chayve Krisis, which we see clearly, it's in the Torah. That's what the Mishnah speaks about. Now, what we're going to speak about, we're learning now, Kuf Tzadikei is Dinei Harchokos. Are the Dinei Harchokos Isser Midoiraisa or Isser Midirabanan? Dinei Harchokos are Midoiraisa or are they Midirabanan? B'pashtus, when we speak about Harchokos, I mean siyagim. In general, siyagim are usually midirabanan. For an example, muktzah. The Torah says to lamatas malachas. So the Chacham said, don't pick up a hammer because if you're going to pick up a hammer, you're going to come to build. You'll be over one of the lamatas malachas. So the Chacham made a siyag. They made a fence. They moved away that you shouldn't come to be over on the deraisa. So the pashtus, all these siyagim and these warnings and cautions are all midirabanan. However, in Avos Derab Nasan, Peruk Beis Halacha Aleph, it's not my Bakiyas, the Goyin over here brings it on the first Sif and Shulchan Aruch, and the Avos Derab Nasan says like this: Eiz siyag she'asa Torah l'davrei. He speaks about siyagim of the Rabbanon, and he speaks about where's the siyag that the Torah made a siyag. So the Avos, and as we explained in general, even by Isuri Arayos, it's a Gemara. The Gemara says It's a Gemara in Yevamis Daf Chaf Shniyos. The Gemara calls it that it's Isser Mitzvah, and the Gemara says it's Mitzvah because Mitzvah L'Shmaya Divrei Chacham. All these Harchokos are really all Midirabanan. So the Avos Rab Nosson says the Isser. I'll read the Lashon. The Harchokos of Nida Zakta Avos Rab Nosson is the Raisa. The Torah says, "Valisha minyas tamasalei sikrav yachol yichap kena v'yinash kena v'yidaber ima dvarim betelim," which means even what the Shulchan Aruch says, the Harchokos speaking, whatever that goes into dvarim betelim, Talmud loy malei sikrav. So when the Torah says lei sikrav, the Torah is saying a harchaka minat Torah. One could be masupag if this harchaka mid'oraisa is only be'ishtoi, or is it also a harchaka from any isha nida, even a pnuya? What? So you say it should be a kavachayim. We're going to get to it soon. That it's interesting when nida be'ishtoi, sometimes that it's more chamer and sometimes it's more kal. So that's really the shaila. Understanding this Avos Rab Nosson, which says that Harchokos is D'oraisa, there's a machlokes rishonim in the Isser of a person touching a nida, his wife a nida. The Isser touching a nida, is it an Isser D'oraisa or is it Isser D'Rabbanan? The Rambam in Isurei Bir Perek Chaf Aleph, the Rambam says that it's Isser D'oraisa. It's Isser D'oraisa for a person to touch his wife a nida, Isser D'oraisa. The Ramban argues and the Ramban says that it's Isser D'Rabbanan. The Rambam says it's the Raisa. There is a machlokes hapoiskim. The Shach brings it at the end of the Siman. There's a machlokes hapoiskim. The Iturizov, the Levush says that the Isser is across the board. The Isser to touch a wife needs a Isser d'oraisa, even if it's shaloi l'shem chiba. Very big nafkamin. If a person's a doctor, could he help out his wife that needs his help? If there's an Isser to touch a wife mid'oraisa, even shaloy b'toras chiba, he's a doctor, he wants to help out his wife, then it would be aser, could be even in pekuach nefesh, because it's a vizrayt or Arayos. But the Rambam says he's a iser d'oraisa to touch, and he's a machlekes aposkim if the iser is only b'makom where it's negiah shal derech chiba, which pashtas mashmoyes a Rambam. The Rambam's talking about nishuk v'chibuk, so the Rambam is talking about chiba. Or even not chiba, any negiah is iser d'oraisa. So we have a machlekes rishonim if there's a iser mid'oraisa or it's only mid'rabanan.
But either way, it's not his wife. It's any isha, right? And if it's any isha, how can a person possibly know he can't touch any?
I don't know if a regular. I don't know when the Turizah says any negiah. That's by any erva. We'll get to any erva in a minute. The Shulchan Aruch nafkamina klar. The Shulchan Aruch says in Even Ezer, somebody that does nishuk v'chibuk to any of the arayos, very good. Which means technically, when we're saying nida be'ishtoi, it's even a different not ishtoi as well. However, the shilas of everything by a nida be'ishtoi is not always applicable to every arayos. We'll get to that momentarily. A good point.
First, the other way around, though, meaning if it's not ishtoi, so if the guy's a doctor, then the isser to touch a nida would not be just with his wife, would also be with any woman who is a nida. So then how does a male doctor ever
touch? Yeah.
do that?
Yeah, no. That's right. But if there would be an isser, if the isser is negiah tar b'malachta, what let's say the famous tshuva Ramosha wouldn't be applicable. What do you mean? It is isser negiah. So the first thing is lamaisa. The shilas if we even paskin like the Rambam. The Ramah paskins like the Ramban at the end of the Siman. That's agav, but you're right. Could be talking only be'ishtoi, not be'isha acheres. To get it very clear, hopefully very clear, for somebody to touch a different lady that's a nida is really like touching a eishes ish. So we're focusing now in harchokos legabe nida. The Torah says harchokos, whether if it's mederaisa, which we're going in the Shittas Harambam, we're getting to that, but that's by nida. It's not talking about all isurim. I'm sorry, all arayos. So we have over here Machlokes Rishonim, the Rambam and the Ramban. What's the halacha legabe not bala? Bala nida is a iser chorus. Not a bal nagay is there iser or not? Machlokes Rishonim. The Shulchan Aruch and Even Ezer says that if somebody's menashek or machabek any of the arayos, he's loika, not only a nida. The Shulchan Aruch says he's loika. Says the Chalkas Machoykik that that's only for the Rambam. That the Rambam says that the Issa Nagia is a Issa Deraisa. But if the Rambam, it's not a Issa Deraisa, there's no Malkus.
So who extended? Who did that extension to Alameda?
So the Rambam himself says that it's all over. So you're asking, we're going on the Drasha, which is talking about Nida? I don't know. It's a good shaila. You're asking good. Lamaisa, we're talking about my Nida, and this is really what I want to get to. Why did I start with Avos to Rab Nosson? But you're right, it's a good shaila, Taka. It says about the other Arabs also. Lamaisa, Avos to Rab Nosson, speaking about by Nida. L'chayri, you should say it by all of them. You have it by the other psukim as well. Yeah. No, you're saying good, Taka. Lamaisa, it's not only the pasuk is not only over there. Now, I was Lamaisa Avos to Rab Nosson that says Siog Deraisa speaking about by Nida. So Lamaisa is like this. The Rambam says that he's Issa Deraisa. Says the Ramban when he's masik on the Rambam and Sefer HaMitzvahs, the Ramban says not very clear, but more the Heintiger have it speak a little clearer like that the Makor of the Rambam is Avos to Rab Nosson. The Avos to Rab Nosson says that he's a Siog, Archokos Midiraisa. So the Archokos Midiraisa, what's the Archokos Midiraisa? The Archokos Midiraisa is he's a Issa to touch. What does the Ramban say? The Ramban says that it's only Midirabanan. The Avos to Rab Nosson says Ezu Siog that the Torah made. It means it's Midiraisa. So the Ramban says that really it's only not because of smachta. The Avos to Rab Nosson says that it's a siog mideraisa. How could you move around the words? He says the siog. The Torah made the siog. So he says what the Avos to Rab Nosson means that it's a siog mideraisa means that the Torah left it in a way that the Chachamim can make a siog. The siog is only midrabanan. So what does it mean? Eiz the siog sha'asa Torah. Eiz the siog sha'asa Torah, which means the Torah said it in a way that the Chacham can come. But it's not that it's the Raisa Mitzvah or Shmoya. I'll just read the Lashon Rambam when he's masig on the Rambam.
So it's still the Raisa. It's going to tell us who's dying.
Yosef, the Engel is masbel like that. The Nakud and the Ramban. What do you say? I'm sorry.
So it's still the Raisa, just not out the mitzvah of Nida, mitzvah of Shmiyat.
So that's Evi D'Rabbanan. We're talking about that it's the Raisa because of Torah, not al mitzvah of Shema. You're right. You have a good point. So any D'Rabbanan is technically a Deraisa. The Lashon Ramban v'shemer ritzayim loyim b'siag she'asa Torah. What does it mean? Kedei sheyiu hachachamim yechaylam lasis siag b'lashoyin of a yishmo memena tzadikim and asum panel Torah. The chachamim should be able to make a siag. But Akapanim, this Machlokes Rishonim is a Machlokes if the Harchokos are Deraisa. Or Harchokos are Midirabanan. Machlokes Rishonim. As a matter of fact, the Megillas Esther, over there on the Hasagas, on the what the Ramban's Masag on the Rambam, he says, L'chayr, it's near like the Rambam. He says, the Avos to Rab Nosson says that it's a Siag B'Deraisa. Siag Midiraisa. There are, by the way, other Siag Midiraisa also. By Nazir, he's Siag Midiraisa. Valamigdash Leiseitze. But we're focusing over here, and the Rambam, it's a Siag. The Rambam learns that over here by Nida Harchokos are Midiraisa.
The Rambam fits also better with the pasuk. Because the Torah says Leisikra B'Gali Seva as opposed to being specific. That means that the Harchokos is built into the...
So that's the shaila. Is that what Leisikra means? Leisikra just means Leisikra don't get close, but Avada means close in Bia. If you learn that it's not the Eraisa, even the way they say Leisikra means not to touch, it's Asmachta, it's not the Eraisa. This Machlokes Rishonim, if these Harchokos are, we're learning now Siman Kuf Tzadikei Harchokos, is it the Eraisa or Midirabanan? So there's a Gemara in Shabbos, I don't know if they saw a fascinating Gemara in Shabbos. The Gemara says that there was somebody that was nifta young, and his wife went around with the tefillin and went to the gedolim to say he learned to his shana. So what happened? And no one was able to answer. But Eliyahu came as a guest, and Eliyahu Hanavi asked her, "What was b'yimei nidusa? Were they marchik b'yimei libuna?" So he said, "No, they ate together and they slept together in the same bed, b'kiruv basar." So then Eliyahu Hanavi said, that's the pshat. That's why he was nifter. So there's a few cases in the Gemara over there. One case is that they slept b'kiruv basar, which is what we're talking about now, which is negia. So it's a machlokes, the Rambam and the Ramban, if it's the Rais and the Rabbanon. Lafi the Ramban, that whole Gemara is all the Rabbanon. All Harchokos the Rabbanon. You learn Siman Kuf Tzadik Hey, it's all the Rabbanon. However, the Rambam, as we saw, learns that Negia is the Raisa. What's about the other Harchokos? So Lamaisa, this Gemara in Shabbos is actually the next halach in the Avos Derab Nasan. When the Avos Derab Nasan says Ezus Yag Sha'asu Torah, in halacha beis he brings this Gemara, this Maisa, which would seem that all the cases in the Gemara are deraisa. So that's the shaila in other cases of Harchokos. For Lagabi Negia, at least Negia Shal Chiba is the Isam deraisa. Lafi the Rambam, Lafi the Rabban, it's the Isam derabana.
How do we say it's a deraisa? Because he was Chav Misa?
No, not because of Chayiv Misa. That's rather someone to bring like that for so vayit for the Rabbanon. I mean, the Gemara says in Brachas, we're learning in the morning coil, the Gemara says that if somebody's over al divrei chacham is chayiv. Yeah, all sorts of shayl over there. But the raya, why it seemed that it would be deraisa even in the other cases, it's not a muchrach, because the Avos Derab Nasan says, what's a hachakim deraisa? What's a siyakim deraisa? And on that he brings. But you can tell me only one case of it is deraisa. The Gemara in Shabbos, now going into the general Hagdara of Harchokos. So till now we spoke about that our Dinei Harchokos is machlokes Rishonim, if it's deraisa, the Rabban, at least Lagabi Negia. The Geder of Harchaka, how does one look at the Harchaka of Ishtoi Nida? How do you define it? So the Gemara says, it's over there in Shabbos Afiyad Gimel, the Gemara says, Ishtoi Nida is when she's a nida is like when it's like a erva, just like a person to an eishes ish is aser. So ishtay nida is that type of gather. Now that's the Gemara says. Lashon Gemara. See if I have the Gemara in Shabbos.
So he's allowed to enjoy her, she's allowed to put on makeup and the whole thing.
So this Nakuda I want to get to, that's what I really want to touch upon, that even though the Gemara says where's the Gemara? The Gemara says that it's his wife is Makesh Isha Nida Le'eshes Re'eyu. I mean all the cases, but the Gemara says the gather is that his wife that's a nida is like a erva. Now, even though the Yesida it should be like an erva, you find that in certain cases it's actually more chamer, and in certain cases it's more kal. Let's first start with where it's more chamer. The halacha is, it's in Dinei Harchokos that we're learning, that a person's not allowed to pass to his wife. However, by other ervas, a person's allowed to pass to a different erva. The Maramakim is clear. This is in Even Ezra Simon Chaf Aleph. The Shulchan Aruch speaks about which malachas that are, let's say, a shifcha is not allowed to do for a man because it could be bali the hira avera. And then the Ramah says v'yesh bakilim, and the Beis Shmuel explains he's going on certain cases that says lahoishet liyada liyada. So which means even though lagabe nida, which is ke'erva, in one way it's actually more chamer than an erva. By an erva, one could pass to an erva. A person could pass to an eishes ish. The ishtoi, they were even more machma, they made a bigger archaka. However, me'idach, even though ishtoi nida is ke'erva, there's also the opposite as well. There's certain cases that it's more kal. A person's not allowed to be meyachid, he's a issa yichud with an erva. However, a person's allowed to be, of course, a person's meyachad with his wife. There's no din that when ishtay nida that they sleep in there. There's no Issa Yichud. And the reason for that is the Gemara says, Gemara in Sanhedrin Daf Lamed Zayin, the Shulchan Aruch brings a Baskov Sadekei the din, but the reason the Gemara says Suga b'Shayshanim, and which the Hezber is, they explain that once a person already is married and it's going to become mutter again later, so maybe there's no Isser. There's no Isser Yichud. The Isser Yichud is ba'oifen where they were never together. Since they were never together, is the Isser Yichud. Eishes Ish is the Isser Yichud. By a Nida, since they were together, there's no Isser Yichud. Ba'oifen, what'd it say? Ba'oifen, the Shulchan Aruch says in two places, a Chuppah Nida. A Chuppah Nida is these Issa Yichud because they were never together yet. Since they were never together, so you don't have this Svara Kesuga B'Shashanim. Loshen is Loi Taka Fla Yitzrei, so maybe there's no Archaka. But what comes out Taka is, besides Chuppah Nida, also if let's say somebody's wife was Mezana, so Mamela, there already there'll be an Issa Yichud because it's not only that they were together, it's also a Svara because there's going to come a time it's going to be Asil Leheter. Another Heter. First of all, it's Pasha, but we said over the Gemara, the Dinei Harchokos is not only B'Shas Nidusa, Avad, it's also B'Shas Libuna, which means B'Shas the Shiva Nekiyim. And even after the Shiva Nekiyim, also till she's Toivel, like the Gemara says. Another Heter that there is by an Ishtoi Nida, which you don't have by other Arayos, and that's the Shulchan Aruch B'As and Siv Zayin. The Ramah says, a person's not allowed to look at a different lady, for sure not an erva, even b'makaymes ha-gluyim, ma'ashegem b'ishtei nida, it's mutter. Here also the Shach says the same type of svara, so you have both ways. We have one way that it's even more chamer, that he's not allowed to even pass to her, when by other people he's allowed to. But me'idach, to be meyachet, and even to be mistakel, b'makaymes ha-gluyim, it's mutter. Then there's some type of middle territory which the Pesach Tshuva is masupik. Azay the halacha is by an erva person, koil be'isha erva, person's not to listen to a lady singing. What's the halacha legabe? So ishtoi nida, the etzem, is like an erva. But what do you say over here? Is a person allowed or not allowed to listen to his wife singing when she's a nida? What's the halacha? So the Pesach Tshuva is masupik about it. Mechad Gisa, it's bedoima. The Gemara says bedoima leishtei erva. So maybe if it's doima, it's aser. But meidach, just like there's no issa yichud, because the person knows his wife, he's not going to be bali de michshol, be mistakel, not going to be bali de michshol. Could be these are tzad to be. He says maybe it's mutter. Lamaisi zenich, the Pesach Tshuva blives with a tzarachian. Ramosha says kedai lahachmer. Others are vosner lamachmer. But here is something that because it goes either way, you could be masupek. What's the din?
Is there a shita that says specifically for Shabbos mirrors it's mutter? Is that true?
So I was shmoozing with the Bishu about it earlier. Lamaisa, this is a shmooze in general. Not I rather looked to see that study heter, but we'll speak about it after. I want to mamash end on time now, so I could be on time for Meir. But I want to just it's a shaila not only be'ishtei nida, it's even a shaila when not, and even with the boys, the sisters singing stam. It's a erva klape benching. Let's say zmiris, even if you want to say it's maybe not called divrei Torah, it is, but even benching. Just to conclude this shir more with the inyan of, we started off speaking about the Isser of Baal Anida, the Isser Chorus, and then the Harchokos. So these two Rambans, if you know it, it's Chazara. If not, it's very interesting. I want to share with you. The Ramban in Parshas Achrei speaks about the reason for the Isser Torah of Baal Anida, and the Ramban says that the Dam Nida is a very big sakana, and it's maimis, and it's poison, and if a person drinks it, he could die, and if a kid gets born from such dam, which even though that's not the time to become pregnant, but if it will happen, it's a big sakana for the kid. So that's the reason why Zokter Ramban, the reason for the Isser Baal Anida. And then the Ramban says the reason for not the reason for Harchokos, but the Ramban says on last week's parsha, when Lavan came in look around for the Avodah Zaros. So Rachel said, I'm sorry, it's Kederach Hanashim. So like Kederach Hanashim, so you don't have to get up, or you're off, you're on vacation, what's the business? So he says, the Ramban says, a Morid Gezach, that then they understood that it used to be that a Nida was in a separate room. There was a lot of bad things that came out from a Nida, and Memela, even he says, Dr. Ramban, that when Rachel said, I'm Kederach Hanashim, that was the end of the conversation. In other words, even to communicate with a Nida, says the Ramban, is also damaging. You'll see the Ramban inside, the big Arichas, he goes very powerful. But just to conclude that the Chassam Sofer says that Lamaisa, we don't see this is not La Halacha, all these things that it's a person's not to be, to communicate and all the things that the Ramban says, but just to bring out the inyan, the sakana of Baal Anida, but also the concept of Harchokos was Harchokos already then, as the Ramban explains, they weren't Makayim the Torah, but they still understood to the concept of Harchokos. So we had over here in the Geder of Harchokos, we have over here Machlekes, at least by Negiah, Machlekes Rishonim, if it's Midiraisa or Midrabanan.
Oh yeah. I mean, see, supplies Lamaisa nowadays.